The way John Law explains actor network theory is that all aspects of society are made up of heterogeneous materials whose resistance has been overcome. The social is nothing more than patterned networks of heterogeneous materials. This complements Mcluhan's theories quite nicely, as he says, the medium or process of our time, electric technology, is reshaping and restructuring patterns of the social interdependence and every aspect of our personal life. When Mcluhan speaks of the medium, he isn't exclusively referring to the radio, press, TV, and internet. The medium being described by Mcluhan is any extension of our natural biological capabilities. For example, the glasses I sometimes wear allow me to see more clearly and do things I otherwise wouldn't be able to do, like read text from a further distance or make out faces more clearly. Without my glasses, I would have a much more difficult time reading notes and making out faces from a far distance. In this sense, all mediums contribute to a person's actor network, which make them who they are. Almost all our interactions with other people are mediated through objects of one kind or another. Media, by altering the environment, evoke in us unique ratios of sense perception. The extension of any one sense alters the way we think and act, the way we perceive the world. When these ratios change, men change. Mcluhan explains that all mediums alter our environment and the way we view our environment. As all mediums are extensions of our senses, they allow us to perceive the world in new ways, which we otherwise wouldn't be able to. This new perception of the world that a person adopts with the medium effectively changes who that person is. This is, as John Law would say, the effect of patterns of heterogeneous materials. When Mcluhan wrote that the media is massage, it was actually a typo. He meant to write message, but the way a lot of people interpret it is that he meant that it was so much a part of us that we don't notice it. It just becomes so much a part of our life that it's just something we do or use. It's not something we think about. Going back to the example of my glasses, when I use my glasses, I don't think about using them. I just put them on my face and they work. I don't have to think about them working. They just work, and I'm able to see more clearly. We can connect this back to John Law when he said, if a network acts as a single block, then it disappears to be replaced by the action itself and the seemingly simple author of that action. At the same time, the way in which the effect is generated, it is also effaced. For the time being, it is neither visible nor relevant. So John Law was trying to say that when something becomes used so much in such a simple way, it seems invisible. It's not relevant, so it's not something we think about. It's invisible. So even though Mcluhan might not have actually meant that the media is massaged into our lives, the way a lot of people interpret it, the connection's still there, and I think he would agree that the media is massaged. Perhaps that's why they leave it in so many of the books that are printed today. The world we live in today is becoming more and more technologically advanced. It is certainly more advanced than it was in Mcluhan's time. We now live in the post-industrial era. The global village is even smaller than it was when Mcluhan coined the term. The average consumer possesses many electronic devices, which are mediums that can connect us to people all over the world. Electric circuitry has overthrown the regime of time and space and pours upon us the concerns of all other men. The internet, which is accessible through a number of platforms, connects people globally in more ways than just one. We can now communicate through a variety of social media outlets. We are able to have live communication, which involve live audio and video and live text. These new mediums allow us to use our senses in ways which in the past seemed inconceivable. Devices that exist today are able to do the job of several other devices in only a single platform. For example, a smartphone is not only a portable communication device, it can also serve as a calculator, a flashlight, a camera, a television, a gaming device, a weather reporter, and so much more. It can even enable its users to surf the web for an infinite number of reasons. The phone is able to do so many tasks, effectively replacing many old technologies. Nothing can be further from the spirit of new technology than a place for everything and everything in its place. Phones are not the only media which enable many different functions on a single device. Smart TVs, computers, and even smart watches are all able to do so much more than they were originally designed to do. In Mcluhan's time, one computer was used by many people, and it had little purpose. As Weiser said, now we are in a personal computing era. But I would argue that we are past this stage. We are now in what he describes as the age of calm technology, or ubiquitous computing. This is where each individual has several computing devices, which would come in the form of what he describes as tabs, pads, and boards. We see this today with smartphones, tablets, and laptops, and even smartboards. All of these are highly sophisticated devices, which have a variety of functions. Weiser describes ubiquitous computing as making technology invisible. To make a computer so embedded, so fitting, so natural, that we use it even without thinking about it. This stage that Weiser describes is what Mcluhan would describe as being massaged. The technology is so much a part of our lives that we cease to acknowledge its existence. It simply recedes into the background. The reason I chose to present this assignment in this medium of a video, actually of a link to a video which is on YouTube, which is on the internet, which you're watching on some sort of device, whether it be a tablet, a smartphone, or a computer. The reason I chose to do that, well, because I think that covers the most electronic mediums possible at once. This is also something that I enjoy doing, and I did a lot in high school. It was a way for me to express creativity while critiquing Mcluhan and John Law's Actor Network and the Weiser Ubiquitous Computing readings. Presenting in this medium also covers all of the key factors of the acoustic age, with new elements in the electronic environment. So there is a co-presence. You're able to see and hear me even though we're not actually close to each other, so we're not actually in close proximity. This relates back to the global village. The world is smaller. Even though we're not together, I'm able to communicate and deliver this message to you. There's also a fair amount of affect in the video. I included music, which hopefully you found pleasing. There is physical involvement. In order for me to give this to you, I had to record it, edit it, post it on YouTube, and then send you the link. And on your side, you had to click the link and hit play. I think presenting in this medium is probably the most non-linear way I could deliver the message. You're able to see and hear me, and also read text, which I present on the screen. So multiple senses are being used by the viewer at the same time. In this sense, this medium is non-linear.